first day at Manchester and already it has been an absolute treat. We've literally got two different decks on each side, each little wicket, which we are going to get into Pant. You know, the one cricketer who sees a cricket ball like a football, reverse sweeps a fast bowler, now his foot looks like a football. This is my review of day one. Let's start off here with the first session. I thought Jaiswal, very scratchy innings, but that's what you sometimes have to do. It reminds me a little bit of a Dean Elgar kind of vibe there. He was really one of those guys that would tough things out. He looked really, really good. And then he lost his wicket. You know, Liam Dawson, 25 minutes or 35 minutes before the match, I send a friend of mine this message. Liam Dawson is an absolute beast. This guy has taken 10 wickets at Manchester. He knows how to bowl here. Again, the question, no Kuldeep Yadav. Day one. Okay, look at this real quick here. Already foot marks and some dust there on the pitch on the one side. I think it might be the Jimmy Anderson side. You let me know on that little fact over there. But it asks the question. Now, there's going to be a lot of, thought on how Sundar, Jadeja and Thakur, because India seem to be set on wanting three all-rounders in there, the same as England, it seems, although England just added Dawson. If an all-rounder, right, gives you 1 wicket and 30 runs and Kuldeep takes 5 wickets, what would you prefer? Because I think you only need to watch cricket for one day and you would know which one you prefer. India are 2 from 11 in test matches. I've said this weeks ago in the first test match, I think, where, India playing safe. Gambhir, he's got a very safe style of playing. There's zero risk taking. I just think Kuldeep would have been one hell of a surprise. You think about now the bad light, right? Yeah, okay, you need to face Root and you need to face Dawson with a very, very old ball. Imagine if the tables were turned, right? Roles were reversed and it was England batting and now they had to face a Kuldeep Yadav. Do you think that they would have wanted to face a Kuldeep Yadav? No, probably the 2 bowlers that England do not want to face is Jasprit Bumrah and Kuldeep Yadav. So questions around that as always. But let's get back to the 2 sides of the pitch here. KL Rahul looked really, really great again. Guys, this is a very interesting stat. 4 out of his 7 innings, he's lost his wicket after a break. A man who is so focused, his headspace just seems so controlled. He's in control of his crease, of everything. I just find it odd that he's been having these lapses of concentration and he loses his wicket, as you can see here. So that's something to think about, I think, and something that you don't really expect of him. But let's just look at the pitch here real quick. There's a massive green strip, okay, and that's how KL Rahul lost his wicket there. Gil, absolute shocker. I mean, let's give the guy a break. I guess, it was a lot of grass. Yeah, don't really know what else to say about that. It does bring up the question of Kadu Nair because there was a lot of outrage about him not being picked. But you look at that, you see that green strip an hour before the match starts and you're like, oh, shit, that's a lot of green. Ball nipping in. The England bowlers against the right arm batters have been really, really good. Probably not a good day for him to play, and I think a good choice. Sai Sudharsan, he got lucky, but sometimes you need a little bit of luck, right, to get your test career going. It's a little bit crappy that he ended up losing his wicket in a way that he almost lost his wicket, I think, more than a session ago, right? The short ball, and then he just, I think that was unnecessary, but that 61 was really, really good. I think he would feel really, really proud about that. England didn't necessarily bowl the way that I think they wanted to bowl in the first session. I still think Jaiswal and KL Rahul didn't give them anything. They left a lot of balls, which I think is very necessary, and an art of opening batters that is just falling out the window, which is a very important art. Getting through those first 20, 30 overs to set up the game for punts. Oh, good Lord. Like I just said, his foot now looks like a football. It doesn't look very good to me. I understand that if you want to be hopeful, but that looks incredibly, incredibly rough. He couldn't even walk off the park. You have to ask yourself this question. All right, the man just broke a record. Look at this. First batter ever to score 1,000 runs aggregate in England. First wicket-keeper batter, sorry. Incredible feat. An argument will be made at some point if he's the best wicket-keeper batter ever. He's wreaked havoc in Australia. He's doing it in England. The argument has to be thrown out. Of course, yeah, there are legends of the game that people will say is better, but at some point this is going to be an argument. Listen to what I'm saying. We all know it's true. The thing that I want to say is he could have had even more runs if it's just not for that moment. There's like flamboyance and there's confidence, and he gets it right most of the time. But it's when it turns into this kind of like arrogance, and then people are going to say, but it's part of who he is. No, guys, we all know what he can do and what he's capable of. Okay, you think about that run out at Lord's, and now we think about this here, trying to sweep a fast bowler. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the cricket gods, they have a say sometimes. Stokes should have gotten Sai Sudarshan's wicket. The cricket gods said, you know what, no, today's going to be Sai Sudarshan's day. They have a say in all of this, and I don't know, I just thought he brought that on himself, and it really was unnecessary, right? Because he's the key guy there. Like I said so many times, he's the one guy that England just never seemed to know how to get out, except that one amazing delivery from Jofra Archer, obviously at Lord's second innings. But he just has to, he's the vice captain as well. So somehow you want him to be confident and flamboyant, but add a little bit of responsibility in there. Like, be like, you know what, I'm going to be the guy to get 150 here. Because we all know he can do it. He's done it on the toughest of pitches. But yeah, you know, I think India are a bit still for me ahead here. They send in Thakur probably for the right-left hand combination, which I think you do need. I think this England attack now with Dawson in there as well, a lot better. A lot better. They've really just strengthened it. Like I said, this guy can take 10 wickets at Old Trafford. It's going to be absolutely massive. Yeah, I thought it's a good day.